I told him Jason and the Argonauts and Hercules and all of those great stories, Medusa. Finally, I ran out. And he said, well, Dad, well, tell me another one tonight. And I said, well, that's it. There's no more. I mean, there haven't been any new ones in 2,000 years. And he said, well, why don't you make one up then? And I was like, well, how do you make up a Greek myth? But I started thinking, and I came up with this kid, Percy Jackson. And he was going to be 12 years old, and like my son, he was going to be ADHD and dyslexic, because my son, that was something he could relate to. He had trouble in class because of those two things. And I decided that if you had those two conditions, you were almost certainly a demigod. And my son thought that was all right. But I made up this story. I started thinking, well, what would it be like if suddenly you found out that all those old Greek gods really were immortal, even though no one believes in them anymore? What if they were still around? What if they were still having kids with mortals like they used to, and having these half-god, half-mortal kids? Demigods, half-bloods. What would it be like if you found out that your real mom or your real dad was a Greek god? I see the kids are like, yeah, I already knew that. Who would you want to have as a mom or a dad? We got any favorite Greek gods or goddesses? Yes, right here. Apollo, god of the poetry and archery, sometimes the god of the sun. You would know the future because he was the god of prophecy. That'd be cool. Yes, in the orange shirt. Artemis the huntress. Oh, she's so cool. She's one of my favorites. Of course, she did promise never to have kids, so that could be a little drawback. But yes. Pan, the god of the wild. All right, so you have goat hooves under those shoes? Yeah, maybe. Yes.
Poseidon.
Poseidon, god of the sea. You had all these water powers. You could breathe underwater and manipulate waves and make toilets explode. That'd be cool. Yeah. Well, yeah. Poseidon also, yeah. What do you... Hades. Oh, all right. We got the Hades crowd. Usually the guys that say Hades are wearing like black concert t-shirts. Yeah. Yeah, Hades would be cool. You'd have zombies following you around, carrying your books for you. My favorite answer, I was telling the kids yesterday who came for the field trip, I was at a middle school in San Antonio, and I said, okay, what Greek god would you want to have as a parent? This girl raised her hand real excited. Ooh, Batman! Good answer. So I told my son this story about this kid, Percy Jackson, who lives in New York, and he finds out that his dad is actually Poseidon, the god of the sea. And he's got to go on this big quest to find the lightning bolt that's been stolen from Zeus and get it back to Mount Olympus, which, of course, today hovers over the Empire State Building in New York City. He has to find the entrance to the underworld, which naturally is under Los Angeles. Anyway, I made this up, and I told it to my son, and my son said, Dad, that was really good. You ought to write it down. And I said, well, I don't have time. I'm already writing these books, and I'm teaching, and, you know. He said, no, really, Dad, write it down. I didn't think anybody would like it, though. I mean, when I sent off my first adult book, I got all these rejection notes. And here's some of them. I mean, we got like 14 rejections for the book. They all said different things, too. One guy said, I love the story. I hate the characters. The next guy said, I love the characters. I hate the story. Several of them said, I'm sorry, I just don't like Texas. So, but with the lightning thief, that didn't happen almost immediately. We got all these people who wanted to publish the book. It first came out in the U.S., and this is the cover that it had. I don't know if you've seen that. You got that one? Yeah, there you go. It's got the silver cover with all the monsters jumping out of it. Do you guys recognize any of those monsters? What do you say? Oh, yeah, somebody always says, look, it's Fluffy! But, yeah, it's actually Cerberus, the guardian of the underworld, but of course that's where the Harry Potter books got the idea for Fluffy, so you're not too far wrong. Yeah, who do you recognize? Medusa, who could turn you to stone with her very eyes. Yeah! Oh, very good, the Minotaur, half man, half bull. Anyway, this one came out, and then they decided to change the cover, and they made it look like this. It's green, and it's got Percy standing in the ocean, right, and it's got lightning flickering behind the Empire State Building. Then they started publishing it in other countries. Here's what it looks like in England. If you bought the book in Great Britain, it's got the big flying shoe on it. And we had this big debate when it first came out about which cover was better, the American or the British. I don't know, what do you guys prefer? You like that one? Okay. British, yeah, yesterday the kids were were all about the British one. I don't know. Anyway, it was really frustrating when they first came out because I went all over the country and I did all of these talks. And all the kids in America said the same thing. They all said, oh man, the British cover is so much cooler. Why can't we have that one? And then I went over to England. And I talked to the kids over there, and I figured, oh man, yeah, they're going to like their cover too. As soon as the British kids saw the American cover, they were all like, hey, no, we like the American cover much better. Well, anyway, since then it's been published in something like 14 foreign languages and counting. Here is the Lightning Thief cover in Japanese. This is another one of my books in Japanese. That's actually The Widower's Two-Step. But I don't know if you've ever seen a Japanese book. What do you notice about it? Yeah, oh, very good, yeah. You're both right. It's backwards. The front cover's the back. And then as this gentleman said, also in Japan you read up to down, not right to left. I said that at a school in California, and this girl said, oh, so that's why. I said, what? She said, I was on the plane with somebody, and they were reading in Japanese, and they kept going, I can figure it out. Here is the Lightning Thief in Korean. The Lightning Thief in Spanish. The Ladrón del Viejo. The Lightning Thief in French. Le Voilu de Peuple. I took French in college, and I thought, oh, well, I'll read it. How hard can it be? I could not get past the title. I kept going, Le Voilu de Peuple. Doesn't that mean the watcher of goat cheese? But they assure me it means the Lightning Thief, so I'll have to hope they're right. My favorite, however, is probably the German version, the German edition. I was warned that the Germans are really serious. And they like these dark, somber covers with very serious images. And so I was preparing myself for the serious German cover, and then I got it. And it has the Minotaur in his underwear. It's very serious. Well, that was the first Percy Jackson book. There are going to be 5 Percy Jackson books by the time we finish the series. Thank you. The second was The Sea of Monsters, in which Percy has to sail into the Sea of Monsters, otherwise known as the Bermuda Triangle, find the Golden Fleece, and get it back to camp before the camp is destroyed. The third one that came out in May is The Titan's Curse, and that's the cover for that one. And if you haven't seen the cover for this one, it's got Percy, he's riding a Pegasus, and he's on the Chrysler Building in New York, and he's about to leap off over the Empire State Building and fly off over Manhattan, but these vines are wrapping around him so he can't get away. The first time I showed this cover at a middle school, I was so proud. I said, ha, the cover for The Titan's Curse. And this kid said, oh, look, he's riding a hippo. And then another kid tried to make me feel better. Oh no, Mr. Riordan, it doesn't look like a hippo. That's a moose. So now every time I look at this, I think, oh, there's Percy riding his war moose into battle. The fourth Percy Jackson book, I can't tell you too much about, it's top secret, but it will come out in May 6th. The title, they're not even letting me say the title yet, but the title will be announced October 6th on my website, rickriordan.com. So if you want to know the title and a little sneak preview of the fourth Percy Jackson book, you'll have to wait until October 6th and check it out online.